Hi, I'm Brad Sugars and welcome to the Business Basics. Today I'm going to talk to you about really the job of an action coach and my job, I guess, as a business educator, and that's really to change the way you think. It's not to motivate you or to inspire you, it's to get you thinking differently. See, the moment I can get you thinking differently, then I can get you making decisions differently. Different decisions lead to different actions lead to different results. So let's take a look at it. Sometimes in order to make a decision to go forward, we've actually got to go back in time and take a look at how did we end up where we are. So I want to take a few minutes to actually look historically at a few different areas of doing it. The first area we're actually going to look at, and by the way, the word I use here is prognostication. Now it's a word I'm pretty sure was invented by Buckminster Fuller, Dr. R. Buckminster Fuller. Now, Bucky used to, instead of using the term prediction, he used the term prognostication. Now, what did he mean by prognostication? Well, kind of different. See, predicting, he said, was standing in the current moment, predicting the future. He defined prognostication as kind of looking down. If you look down a bow and arrow and you're looking down the arrow, well, from the back of the arrow, you can see right through to where you want it to go. You don't hold the arrow behind and shoot from here. And he looks at prognostication saying, okay, if we start back in time and look down how we got to here, then we've got a pretty good chance of getting to where we want to go or understanding where we want to go. So taking a look at technology with prognostication is a really important point. One of the things that technology does is it removes that scarcity thinking. How does it do this? Well, let's take a look. Let's imagine that I went to a small island, and on that island there lived 10 people, 5 men and 5 women. And the 5 men went fishing every day to catch enough fish for the entire group, and the 5 women worked and grew vegetables every day and picked fruit to make sure there was enough food for the entire group. Now let's say I turned up there and I gave them a fishing net. You know, here I was, this small net. And by the way, if you want to read a lot more on this stuff, Paul Zane Pils's books are great on this subject. I turned up with a fishing net. I give the fishing net to one of the guys on the island, and hey presto, he can now in 2 hours a day catch enough fish for everybody for the entire day. In fact, if he works a full day, he can catch enough fish for the entire week. Now, in a modern society, what would we do to this guy? Well, what we'd do is we'd tax him 80% of the fish. We'd take 4 out of the 5 fish that he catches. We'd give them to other people. It'd cost us at least one of the fish to manage catching the other fish and taking them off him. You know, and this is the whole theory that we need to understand, that through technology we're able to achieve more with less. If you've watched all my videos, you know that's part of the definition of leverage, always achieving more with less. That's what technology allows us to do. If you look at the great boom of the 90s into the early thousands, it was all about productivity booms through technology. You know, we went from having 20 people in an accounting department to run $1 million a year company to 1 person part-time because of technology. Well, another example of that, imagine I owned a restaurant and I had 4 people working there washing dishes on the average night. Instead, I went and bought a large dishwashing machine, and now I only needed 1 person to wash the dishes. See, I've just put 3 people out of work, haven't I? According to current economic thinking, that's bad for the economy. It's bad for everybody that I've put 3 people out of work. Well, did I really put them out of work, or did I allow them to be freed up to go and do other work, to go and add value to society in a different way? One of the challenges that we look at is that people often misunderstand the use of technology as a negative thing. It's only negative if we don't retrain those people in our business or retrain those people in our society to be able to think differently. So in business, we want to always be thinking more with less. We want to be using technology to achieve more. Will that put some people out of a job? Out of their current job, yes. Out of their current employment position, yes. But the technology is something that allows us to move forward. You see, I'm sitting here filming this with you right now, going straight through. It's edited straight up. I don't need to send it to an edit place. Is that putting people out of work? Most probably, because we're using better technology. It allows us to achieve more with less. The biggest challenge is that we don't train those people well enough. Society allows them to go back and think, well, I got to keep getting the same job. Listen, if you ever want to create wealth for yourself, remember, you're going to have multiple careers in your life. You're going to have to retrain yourself. Maybe go back to college, university, and retrain yourself for a 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th career. We're going to live that long these days. But the point behind this prognostication is really, really simple. What we've got to understand is that technology allows us to achieve more with less. And whilst in so-called economic terms that may seem bad, ultimately for business it's a very good thing. I'm Brad Sugars and these are the Business Basics.